tell you something. When I be complaining about food prices, and y'all must be like, "Ain't you rich? Why you complaining about lettuce? Why you complaining about this?" That just goes to show me when you become successful, when you have money, you're gonna go broke soon because y'all not budgeting. I get a summary of the money that's being spent in my home every week. So when I'm starting to see that like groceries is like tripling up, it's like, hey, yo, what the f going on? I want to see for myself what the shit is being spent on. And like when I go to the supermarket, like I went to the supermarket, I'm seeing that everything tripled up. That like lettuce was like $2 a couple of months ago, and now it's like $7. Of course, I'm gonna say something. Because if I think that shit is crazy, I could only imagine what middle class people or people in the hood is thinking. So yes, I'm going to say something. And I have a big platform, so I do want anybody that's responsible of these prices to put that shit down. They're gonna see my shit, they might put it down.
A few years later.
Mind you, and this is why I said this is what I'm telling y'all, I'm not this year. Don't ask me. I don't give the resume that they send. I'm not endorsing no presidents no more. Because how is there a $100 million budget cut in New York City for schools, library, police safety, and sanitation? Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about like, yeah, we could fund two wars. Mom's talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like we're the greatest nation. No, we're not. We're going through right now.
Several months later.
Hold on. How you guys doing tonight? How you guys doing tonight? Are we ready to make history? Are we ready to make history? Are we ready to change these 4 years? No. Are we ready to change the next 8 years? Because we're going to make sure we have Kamala Harris in office for 8 years. Thank you.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the Kamala Harris campaign that seems to be hell-bent on ruining Kamala's chances of winning this election. Well, why do I say that? Well, I say that because the Kamala Harris surrogates, including the sitting president of the United States, have said very stupid things throughout the week, along with, just the liberal media and just Democrats and Kamala surrogates in general calling Trump supporters Nazis, right? I think that was bad enough, right? But President Biden had to come out and say that Trump supporters are also garbage. Just directly say, yeah, Trump supporters are garbage. Mark Cuban said that Trump supporting women are dumb and weak. And Tim Walz called Elon Musk gay, which, he is using the term gay as a slur, right? That is what Tim Walz is doing there as a derogatory term towards Elon Musk. Sounds pretty homophobic to me, but I'm just saying, Democrats seem to continue to put their foots in their mouths, and you would think that they would be careful about who they would have come out here and to speak on behalf of Kamala Harris, considering all of the slip-ups that have happened over the past week or so, but apparently they haven't learned their lesson, okay? Because now they have Cardi B speaking on behalf of Kamala Harris, which I found to be fascinating because Cardi B is the same person that was boohoo, whining, and crying about inflation and the price of goods in this country under Joe Biden, okay? She was sounding the alarm on the terrible economic policies of Joe Biden, also the terrible policies of Democrats in general, including in New York City, also including when it comes to foreign policy and giving all this foreign aid to these other countries and stuff like that. At one point, it seemed as if Cardi B was waking up. But of course, she wasn't actually really waking up because like most so-called women of color in this country that happen to be liberal, they can realize that, hey, Democrats are the issue, but for whatever reason, they'll just turn around and vote for Democrats anyways because of identity politics. And that's exactly what's going on here with Cardi B, because she went from saying that, hey, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden, okay, for all those reasons I just outlined, to now not only coming out and saying that she's going to vote for Kamala Harris, but campaigning on behalf of Kamala Harris, which is what she did in Wisconsin, where her teleprompter broke and somebody gave her a phone to essentially read about how bad the Kamala Harris / Biden administration has been for the American people. Take a look.
I'm going to vote this year. I wasn't. But Kamala Harris joining the race, she changed my mind completely. I did not have faith on any candidates until she joined the race and said the things that I wanted to hear, that I want to see next in this country. All right? I believe in every word that comes out of her mouth. She's passionate. She's compassionate. She shows empathy. And most of all, she is not delusional. Yeah. Kamala recognized that this country is at risk, that the economy needs to get stronger, that the cost of food and the cost of living is too high. Damn, it's even high for me. I believe her when she says, under her, buying eggs and milk won't break the bank, because she's gonna pass a ban on price gouging on groceries. And she told me that in my face. So she better not lie to me in my face. Yeah. I believe her when she says she will make housing more affordable by providing Americans with $25,000 in down payment assistance. Yeah. Hold on. I got more. Yeah, she's promising a lot. Did you hear what Donald Trump said the other day? Y'all heard what he said? All right, I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me drink my water. Yeah, stay hydrated. He said he's gonna protect women whether they like it or not. He said he's gonna protect women whether they like it or not. I'm repeating it. Donnie Dunk, please. Protection for women, especially if we're talking about maternal and mental health care, isn't telling them what to do with their bodies. It's supporting them and giving them the care they need for what they choose to do with their bodies. I don't play that.
Wow. Guys, I apologize. And I don't apologize much on my channel for anything at all, but I will apologize for displaying ignorance for a prolonged period of time. Because that was about 2.5 minutes of nothing but pure ignorance, okay? So, where do I start with this? Where do I start? Wow, I'm losing my mind. You know, sometimes it's hard, man. It really is. It's hard on a daily basis to consume so much nonsense. But again, this right here is just peak nonsense because I just want to break down the logic here, right? The mindset, the psychology of these individuals. Because there's no logical reason for why Cardi B could go from saying, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden because of the current state of the country, to I'm going to vote for the same person who said that I am just like Joe Biden, right? That I would not have done anything differently than Joe Biden. It just doesn't make logical sense. The only way it makes sense is that Cardi B is quite literally supporting Kamala Harris just because she's a so-called woman of color. That's it. There can't be any other reason. Now, again, who knows? Maybe Kamala Harris, because she knows that Cardi B is ignorant. Actually, Kamala knows that Cardi B is ignorant. I mean, let's be real here, because Cardi B claims that Kamala told her to her face that, hey, the way I'm going to bring down the price of groceries is through banning price gouging, which we all know on this channel, because you guys are not ignorant, that the price of groceries is not high because of price gouging. Okay, that is a lie that has been pushed by the Democrat Party, a conspiracy in order to deflect blame from the terrible policies of the Biden-Harris administration, right? The excess spending that we've done as a country and the lockdowns that Democrats supported that were the cause of inflation, okay? So when Cardi B comes out and says, oh, well, the price of groceries is going to go down because the government is going to ban price gouging, it just displays peak ignorance, right? It's just like your brain hurts, because this went from a person who was not going to vote at all, which I supported, right? I support people like Cardi B sitting it out because she's ignorant. And if she's going to vote for a Democrat, right? So her sitting it out, I was totally fine with that. But now she decides, well, I'm going to vote, and I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris, the same person that was involved with the policies that made you not vote for Joe Biden in the first place. She admitted out loud that I'm the same. I would not have done anything different. But you're going to vote for her, thinking that she's going to change stuff and that she's going to do things differently. It's insanity. It really is. And again, I'm not frustrated because I think that Cardi B is going to sway anybody's vote, right? Nobody is going to vote based off what Cardi B says, right? I'm just frustrated because Cardi B represents the ignorant voter in this country that could be persuaded by somebody like Kamala Harris, right? That's what she represents. She represents the uninformed woman in this country that, again, is just going to be excited to vote for Kamala Harris for reasons that are just not logical, right? Because again, if you're excited about voting for Kamala Harris, you should have been excited about voting for Joe Biden, okay? If you're going to sit out the election over Joe Biden, then there's no reason for you to get up and vote for Kamala Harris because she's not any different. But again, Cardi B is not informed enough to know that, right? She's not informed enough to really understand the nuances in the policy. She's not really paying attention, right? She just wants to get on board with the Kamala train, just like she got on board with the Biden train. And then 2 years later, she's out here putting out videos complaining about the policies that she supported, right? She supported the Biden-Harris administration. And if Kamala Harris wins, then there's zero doubt in 2 years, she'll be doing the exact same thing. She'll be on the internet, on TikTok, complaining about the policies that she supported, right? That's what she'll be doing. But again, for her, this is, just a popularity contest, is about just being on board with the Democrat agenda and whatever they're doing, okay, because she's a woman and all this other stuff. So for her, again, she don't know why she's supporting Kamala. She's just doing it because she thinks it's the cool thing to do. And the reason why Kamala is rolling her out there is because, again, she's trying to get so-called black voters on board, so-called voters of color, the people that, Cardi B appeals to, okay? Again, the uninformed voters of the country. And again, I'm not saying that all, black people or people of color are uninformed. What I'm saying is that that's who they're targeting with people like Cardi B, okay? But it seems that this time around, Kamala Harris is not doing as well with those demographics, specifically when it comes to black people, because there are warning signs for Kamala Harris, specifically in states like Georgia and North Carolina that have significant black populations that could affect the outcome of the election. Take a look.
Black voters when it comes to Kamala Harris in both of those states. Why do you say there are warning signs?
Why are there warning signs? Well, I'll tell you why they're warning signs. Let's take a look here. This is Democrat versus Donald Trump. Among African-American voters in Georgia and North Carolina average, you go back to November of 2020. Look at that. Joe Biden carried him by 80 points. Right now, Kamala Harris on average in our CNN polls has a lead of just 65 points. If Donald Trump ends up winning in Georgia and North Carolina, it could be because Kamala Harris struggled with black voters in the Southeast, just as we've seen throughout the national polling as well, Erica.
This is a toss-up election. Let's go inside Georgia first in terms of some of the coalition groups here. Independent voters, and again, I just want to say, we're comparing likely voters in a poll and to what actually happened with voters in the 2020 exit polls. These are two different universes, but instructive. Among independent voters in our poll, Trump has a 7-point advantage in Georgia. In Georgia in 2020, Biden won independent voters by 9 points. So that's a potential warning sign there for Harris. Black voters in Georgia in our poll, 71% percentage point advantage over Trump for Harris. That's about where Biden was. He was at 77 points in the exit polls in terms of his advantage over Trump. White non-college voters down in Georgia, Trump has a 66 percentage point advantage in our poll. That is his base. We should expect to see. It's actually even bigger than his advantage was in Georgia in the exit polls, but in that range. In North Carolina, let's look at these same groups here. Among independent voters, Harris has a 4-point advantage over Trump in our poll. That's where Biden was with independent voters in the exit polls in 2020. Remember, he lost North Carolina in 2020 by a narrow margin. Black voters, 59 percentage point advantage. This is a huge potential warning sign. In the exit polls, Biden won black vote in North Carolina by 85 percentage points. Harris, this is something she's going to want to watch for in the closing days. And then you see the white non-college here. This is perhaps a little bit of diminishment of support among Trump's base than he had 4 years ago.
According to a landmark communication poll, 22% of Georgia's black voters who voted in 2020 have stayed home so far this year. Pollster Mark Roundtree says one of the biggest surprises of early polling data so far is low turnout among black voters who typically vote Democrat.
I don't think anybody saw this level of lack of passion among African American voters, given that this is a candidate who self-describes as black.
Data from the North Carolina State Board of Elections show, as of today, while 1.5 million African Americans have registered to vote, nearly 600,000 have voted early. Numbers from the 2020 election show, about 750,000 black voters turned out to vote early.
Yeah, so those numbers are really, really, really bad for Democrats for a couple reasons. One, we know that black voters overwhelmingly vote Democrat, right? Although in this election, it seems as if Trump is going to eat into the black vote. Now, is it going to be a super large margin? Probably not, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if Trump gets at least 15%, maybe 20%. That's a very optimistic outlook on the percentage of the black vote that Trump can get overall. I'm guessing 15%, okay? And if Trump gets 15% of the black vote, I think he's winning. But more important than the actual percentage of the vote that Trump gets is the turnout, okay? Black voter turnout is just down across the country, period. And if this trend continues, particularly in swing states like, for example, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, that's a big deal, right? That's a huge deal. And that could decide the outcome of the election because black voters are the Democrats' strongest base in regards to the percentage of the demographic that vote Democrat, again, 90+%. But if you have Trump eating into that percentage, even by a small margin, plus low voter turnout, yeah, that spells disaster for the Democrats. And if Trump wins Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, it's over, right? The election is over if he wins those three states, right? So those three states, in my opinion, are really, really, really important states that Trump has to focus on, again, for that very reason, in the sense that black people are not showing up, right? There's low black turnout, which, again, is going to be the key for Republicans winning that state. And again, is a really, really, really bad sign for Kamala Harris, which again is why she's rolling out the Cardi B's of the world, the Beyoncé's, etc., to try to get those voters to show up. But it looks like it's not working this time around if you look at the early voting numbers. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.